And today we're gonna recognize and honor Sanford's first real movie star. And she is Aryn Wright Thompson. She is going to be brought up here. She's gonna talk to you about herself. And then we're gonna open the floor for questions.
Did everybody have a good day at school? Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Hello everyone, my name is Aryn Wright Thompson. I'm 16 years old. I go to Southern Lee High School and I play Hannah Scott in the new movie Overcomer. I'm excited to be here with you all and share my story. I definitely do consider myself a person with anxiety, and I knew I had anxiety when I was in elementary school. And I think what caused it is teachers not believing in me or validating how smart that I knew I was. When I turned 11, I felt that I had it under control, but it would still occur because I had not faced it yet. I was scared to face it, but it's scary because it's scary to believe maybe you are good enough. I turned 15 and I realized what I was dealing with, and at 15 I faced it. I finally started telling myself that I was good enough. I finally started to pay real attention and to believe all of the things that God called me, and all of the things that I am in Christ. What if I told you that God knows that you are good enough? He says it in the Bible. God literally says all of the things that you are. In Ephesians 1 and 2, he says that we are loved. He says that we are sealed. He says that we are saved. He says that we are adopted. He says that we are redeemed. He says that we are blessed. He says that we are chosen. And the best thing of all, in my opinion, is he says that we are his children. So who are we to question ourselves? Who are we to tell ourselves that we are not good enough? And who are we to not have confidence in ourselves? And who are we to seek validation when God has already validated us? A lot of people ask me how I got involved with Overcomer. I've been acting for a while. I've been acting for around 7 years. Me struggling with anxiety, I've always wondered, why would a person with such high anxiety have such a big dream? About 2 weeks before, I got an email requesting a taped audition for the role of Hannah, and I'd actually decided to quit acting. I'd been plugging at it for years and come close, but rarely even got callbacks, unlike my brother, who would get callbacks, auditions, and bookings. My mom had recently gotten a kidney transplant also. It just seemed like the craziest time, but I read the audition piece and I fell in love with it. I talked it over with my parents, and they were 100% behind me. We set up and taped the audition in our dining room, as we always do. My brother taped, edited, and sent out the audition, all using his iPhone. This just felt different, though. I really loved the piece, and when I was reading the piece in my dining room, my dad actually started to cry. About a week later, we got an email that I was asked to come to Atlanta for a callback. With me not having a lot of callbacks, I wasn't sure what to expect. Usually my mom would drive us to Atlanta when we needed to go, but this time we needed some help due to her having her kidney transplant. So my dad and my brother came along with us, and they understood that it was the same day trip. So we would go to Atlanta, 6 hours down, audition, and then 6 hours back. Traffic was horrendous all the way down. It was the middle of the day, and this had never happened to us. It honestly seemed like we were not going to make it, and this just stressed me out 10 times more. When I look back on it, I feel like the devil was trying to throw a monkey wrench, maybe stir up my anxiety. I've been to Atlanta so many times before, and we have never encountered traffic like that. We kept pressing and praying, and finally, we made it on time. As I waited, I was super nervous. They called me into the room, and I felt like I couldn't walk. But here's the thing. When I walked into the room, I felt like a gust of wind come over me, and I felt so loved at that moment, and I knew that Jesus was with me. That moment is when I truly felt, no matter what, that I could not fail. So I did the scene that they wanted me to do, and it was the Ask Me Who I Am scene if you've seen the movie. And I did it the first time, and I guess they felt that I could have done it better, or maybe even they wanted more. I'm not sure. They asked me, "Who is Jesus to you?" And I told them, "Well, he is my everything." I felt that way as long as I could remember, even though I don't think that I really understood what that meant. I redid the scene and I burst into tears, and I do not feel at that point that I was acting. They were surprised, and there was not one dry eye in the room. They asked me my mom, and I was sent to practice some more scenes, which I prayed was a good sign. I was called back into the room before my mom left, and they prayed for us. I've never been in an audition where that happened, so that made me even more hopeful that I would get the part. I did some extra scenes after the prayer, and I left. The funny thing is in this story is that I felt I had done well, and I even left more nervous than ever before. We went back home, and for the next 2 weeks after that, I would ask my mom every day, did they call yet? Well, they did. The first time, it was to tell me that it was between myself and another girl. The second time was to tell me that they wanted a running audition, and the day I got the call was a day that I allowed my mind to finally think about something else. I was just valuing it as another audition in another role that I had not gotten. My mom and dad got the call that I'd been offered the part around 5 o'clock, and I had gotten the call around 9 o'clock. They got the call around 5 o'clock, and they did not tell me because the Kendrick brothers wanted to surprise me. So I got the call around 9 o'clock. I burst into tears, and I'm pretty sure it was the ugliest cry in the world. So the thing is, when they called me and my family were praying. I think that is pretty ironic. I finally felt like I won. I finally felt like my dreams were coming true. I felt unstoppable, and I felt like God was smiling down upon me. I was truly happy, and I felt warm. Truth be told about me, I've done many pageants and never won the big ones. I've done many solos at dance competitions and plays, but never came out on top. The fact that I got in this role using a gift and the real dream that God had placed in my heart, the dream I had been about to give up on, that was a miracle to me. Maybe you can use this as a life lesson. Some people may never know how bright your light is, but there is one guy who does, and that is God. So when you do not win the things that you hope for, please don't give up. God does not place dreams in our hearts and gifts inside of us for nothing. Ephesians 3:20 says, "Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us." God has bigger, better, brighter that was created just for you. Believe in his promise and all that he has placed inside of you. I think the thing that I was still worried about before we started filming was my anxiety getting in the way. I prayed and prayed that it wouldn't, and another big concern was my mom's health. She had just gotten a kidney transplant, and she had 2 drains hanging out of her body to help get the excess fluid away from her kidney. My brother and my dad could not come with us due to my dad having work, and my brother already had internships and jobs lined up. So to help my mom with me on set, we asked a couple of aunts and cousins to come stay with us, but on different days. When we finally started filming, and when I tell you that God was there with me the whole time, I am not lying. When the camera turned on, I never got scared. When I had to interact and meet new people, I never got scared. And it honestly was the first time that I was truly confident in myself. Life on set was the best experience of my life. Even days I did not have to go, I would still go. All the people who worked on set were super nice, and they were all encouraging. I knew the friendships that I have made are everlasting. Here's an example of how awesome set was. My second day on set was my birthday, and I honestly did not even care to be celebrating because I felt like I was living my dream. That's a celebration. But the cast, crew, and my family actually threw me a surprise birthday celebration. That was the best birthday ever. Everyone was in there, and I was really happy, and I was truly surprised. I honestly felt like I could have cried, but as you guys know, I'm not a pretty crier. I truly was at peace on set, and I knew that I was meant to be there. I told you guys that I prayed and prayed before I went on set, and God literally had gone before me. In Philippians 4:6, it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." In Philippians 4:7, it says, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your heart and your minds in Christ Jesus." I'd like to share my favorite poem with you. Our Deepest Fear by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, funny? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So our light is what scares us. How bright we can shine is what scares us. Yeah, what if I do know the answer to that math question, but I won't raise my hand? What if I do want to audition for that play, but I won't? And what if I do know that dance move, but I won't show up? Well, here's what I have to say. If you know the answer, raise your hand. If you want to audition for the play, audition. And if you want to show them the dance move, show them the dance move. And do it all while knowing that you are enough, and God thinks so too. And to my young people, the last thing I want to say is that we live in a time where social media influence us. We live in a time where if we are not good, if we do not get enough likes, we are not good enough. If we do not look a certain way, we are not good enough. And if we do not have a lot of friends, we are not good enough. So stop seeking validation from people who are not perfect and have flaws just like you and I. And I wanted to tell you that you are good enough. I know it may be scary, but I think it's time for us to tell ourselves that we are good enough and that we always have been. Thank you.
Ari has talked to you. It's time for you to talk to her. Everybody's hand go up at the same time. Whatever you want to know about the movie, first of all, I want to know how famous you got at your school since you are now big star around town. Did they act any differently? Did they treat you any differently?
They treated me differently after they figured out that I was in a movie, so it's kind of still the same. Some people have asked me for autographs or even asked to take pictures, which I think is kind of weird because I'm at school, but I like it. It's fine.
Now, but for those of you who do not know, this is Ari's mother, and she talks. Yeah. And she told you about all the health problems. And at one time, they were all, the son, the daughter, and the mom were all in the hospital at the same time. I think it was the first time I'd seen a brother and sister in a hospital room in the same room. So, Ms. Thompson, would you tell the kids a little bit about what you've gone through in getting Aryn to where he is at this point?
Well, Aryn's my son. Aryn is at Morehouse. This is his first year at Morehouse. And my daughter is Aryn, but he used to get their names mixed up. That's my fault because of that name. My health issues, I have had kidney disease since Aryn was probably 3 years old. And it just transitioned to where I needed dialysis. And that was when she was probably about maybe 9 years old. So I was on dialysis until March of 2018 when I was given the gift of a kidney. And March 2018 is, 2018 is when we started the whole audition process with the Kendall brothers. That was in the end of April going into May. So we honestly had not even told the agent that we were ready to start auditioning again because that really was my job, getting into auditions and things like that. And my husband, he works and make sure that, I mean, I work too, but I was able to have a more flexible schedule. So we really got that. And I looked at it and I was like, I didn't even tell her that we were ready to audition again because I really was having still a lot of health things with the transplant. So we just decided to go ahead and go for it. And I'm glad we did. Like she said, when I was on set, when we left her set, I had 2 drains hanging out of my abdomen because I was still putting out fluid from the kidney. And they actually didn't come out until I got back in August. So we did have to have help, our village. And I would talk about our village if anybody knows me or sees me on Facebook. Our village is very strong and, you know, they're very supportive. So we just had alternating weeks where an aunt or a cousin would come and stay with us for the week.
Okay, who's got the first question? Robbie.
Do you make money off that?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Somebody repeat the questions.
She asked, do I make money off of the movie, and I told her yes. One young lady asked, do I really have asthma? No, I do not have asthma, but it was easier to play the role because I used to have asthma, so I knew what it felt like.
Is it a kid's movie?
It's a kid movie.
How many people have seen the movie already? For those of you who have not seen it, please do not let it get by you without seeing it. It tells you so much about yourself, your faith, your beliefs, things that you didn't even realize until after you see that movie. It's unbelievable. As a matter of fact, I've talked to several people who've gone to see it 2 and 3 times. That's how good it is. We took the kids from this church to see it on Friday night, and this is the first time we didn't have to say, don't go to the bathroom, you just came from the bathroom. They actually sat down and actually watched the movie. So, is there another movie in the making, Aryn?
Well, I got another role, but they haven't told us when we started filming, so I'm still waiting on that. But I've been praying and praying that I get more roles and get more opportunities to speak to young people, because that's what I really want to do.
Okay, she wants to speak to young folks, so where are your questions?
I have a question. One, do you consider your greatest inspiration as far as other actresses that you have modeled your life after?
I definitely consider Zendaya one of my inspirations, because a lot of people put her down or told her that she wasn't good enough, and I've had enough of that in my life, and she showed them that she was, and now she's a millionaire living her best life, and that's what I hope I get to one day.
Now, we never had a movie star in Sanford before, not a real movie star, so I'm sure that you all have some questions.
Do you still talk to that family?
That family
Like the family?
from the movie? Oh yeah, I still talk to all of the people who worked on set, and we all have good relationships, and luckily there's phones, so we have our numbers, and I can text them or email them whenever I need them.
Was it a lot of pressure working with everybody? Like, did you have any pressure?
I think it was a lot of pressure, but I never noticed it as a lot of pressure. I honestly, on set, was just having the best time and really having fun. I would go do other jobs. I would do hair someday, or I would be a production assistant someday. And I think whenever the movie came out, I realized how much pressure it was, and I'm glad that I handled it the way that I did.
Did you get to choose your own wardrobe while you...
No, I did not. We had a wardrobe person to help us. Well, not help us, but she picked out everything for us. Before I started filming the movie, no, I did not know anybody who played in the movie, so I had to meet everybody newly and make new friends, which I'm bad at meeting new people and making friends, so that was definitely good practice.
Like, how did you get on set? Like, how did it happen?
Oh, well, me and my mom, we drove to Columbus, Georgia, because that's where it was filmed, and that was around 8 hours, and then we would drive to set, but like if you had to go to like a certain location, they would have like a golf cart to take you.
So do you see yourself doing sitcoms and, you know, on TV weekly and all of that? Where do you see yourself?
I definitely do consider I do see myself on sitcoms and on shows. I want to keep doing movies, but also I want to be a director. So I want to open my own production company one day and make films for young children. Thank you.
How long does it actually take to shoot a film such as that from Burger beginning to
Okay. Well, it took 2 months to film Overcomer. I was there from June to August, and a day would be around 12 hours. Maybe one scene will take around 3 hours. It just takes a while to get the actors ready or set up the camera. That's what takes up the most time. Get the lighting right, and it just takes a while. It's like you wouldn't expect for it to take that long.
How did you feel when you found out that Overcomer had actually topped The Lion King?
I was really surprised that it topped. I wasn't surprised because I knew it was going to do well, but everybody was talking about going to see The Lion King. I was like, no, go see Overcomer. And so it was nice to see people on Facebook talking about how they were going to see Overcomer 5 or 6 times, and I'm glad that it really touched people, and I'm glad that it's doing well in the box office.
And it's not here anymore, right? Was it?
It's still here.
It's in here.
I don't think
I know it's in
streaming.
Fayetteville. The churches in Fayetteville have been taking all of their youth groups to see it. Okay, this morning I noticed it's already up to over $20 million.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you started out with a $5 million budget. So what does that mean? It's a very small cast. So I'm sure that the people who put this movie together are very excited because they never dreamed that it was going to do this.
Yeah, we're all really excited, and we even have a little group chat where we talk about all the things that we see on social media and all the things that the box office is doing with the movie. And it's really fun, and it's just fun to get to talk to the cast about this and have people who are experienced and not be. I'm not really worried about how it does in the box office. I honestly really just want the movie to touch people.
Were you really worried when you were in the hospital after you had to have surgery just before the movie was coming out? Were you upset?
Well, for everybody who doesn't know this, I got in a car accident June 29th. So I was in the hospital for about a week after that and had to get surgery because I was really bad, and I still do feel some pain with like my shoulders and all of that stuff, but I am definitely better now. I don't think I was worried. I know that I remember waking up in the ambulance and I figured out what happened, and I just felt like whenever Jesus was with me while I was auditioning for the role, I just felt him there with me, and I wasn't worried. I was joking around with the paramedics. So I don't think I ever was worried, even when I was in the hospital, that I wasn't going to be able to make it, because even if I wasn't able to make it, I knew that God wanted me to be on that set, and I was going to do what it did anyway.
I'm thinking of questions while I wait for you guys. Where do you get all this faith you've had since you were a little girl?
Well, I think just seeing my mom not always be in the hospital, but always struggle with some health issue, especially with her kidneys. I had to, because I know that God will never leave me, and I've seen him work throughout my life, and I've just always felt close to him, even when I didn't understand all of this. I've just always felt him and always felt love, so it's just always been there, and especially seeing my mom in the hospital. After I filmed the movie? No, I don't think I was scared to go to school. I was excited because I wanted to tell everybody about the stories that happened and the things that happened. And I was really excited. And even if I tell people stories, they never truly understand. So some things I have to keep to myself because nobody will ever understand how awesome it was.
How old are you?
I'm 16 years old.
What grade are you?
I'm in 11th grade.
What would you say to another young person who wanted to do the same thing you were doing?
I would say tell your support system that you want to do it. Make sure that they're 100% behind you. Tell people who can help you follow this dream. Do a lot of research, because everything that I want to do, I research it. I'm always typing on the computer. You see, I have my computer with me now. And just know that you want to do that. Really pray about it and know that that's what you want to do, because no matter what you decide to do in life, it's going to be a lot of work. And that's definitely something I've learned with filming Overcomer. And after it came out, I didn't understand how much work it would be with writing a speech and all that. So I definitely had to realize, and I still want to do it. It's awesome. But I would definitely say just know what you're getting yourself into, research, and just, you got this. And you'll get a lot of no's. So just wait for that one yes, because it will come.
My 5-year-old son, Josiah, wants to know, where is your grandmother from the new movie now?
She is in Atlanta. She lives in Atlanta, and she's also been speaking at churches, and she's doing really well, and I'm really happy for her.
I have a question. What's the step? What steps you need on this right now?
Okay, well, I have an agent, so whoever you want to tell about you want to act or be in the arts, tell them that you need to get an agent first, and she'll help you get your auditions and all the things that you need to do to get where you want to be. So my agent told us about Overcomer. She emailed us, and I auditioned for it, recorded, and sent it into her. She sent it into the Kendrick brothers, and after that, I got the part. But I definitely would say you need to continuously work hard, even if you're not working on a show or working on a movie. Still practice acting at home. I still practice acting at home by myself in the mirror or in the shower. That's why my showers are so long.
Throughout the entire process of you saying that you started certain roles and some failed and some didn't get called, and now landing one and finishing it completely, what have you learned about yourself through that entire process?
I've learned that I definitely am a hard worker, and I won't take no for an answer, and I will continue to work hard, and I definitely, even when running, I had to run on set a lot. For 2 weeks, it was 7 miles a day. So I kept going. I even had shin splints, but I kept doing it. And some days I would cry. I would cry while I was running. I don't know if you guys ever saw that in the scene, but I would just be crying while I was running. I was like, gotta get through this. But I definitely do consider myself a hard worker, and whatever I have to do, I'm gonna get it done.
In one part of the movie, you played a kleptomaniac or a thief. How did it make you feel doing that? Were you thinking all the time, well, I would never do this?
Yeah, I was thinking, how am I going to play this, because I would never steal anything from anybody. But one of the scenes, I don't know if you guys saw the movie yet, but I stole something, and there was these boys chasing after me. And I definitely did like the people chasing after me, because I would try to outrun them or race them, kind of. So that was kind of fun, but I didn't like stealing stuff. No. His name is Cameron Arnett, and he's also in Atlanta, and he has a church. He has a production company, and he pastors, doesn't he? Yeah, he's a pastor, and he's doing really well, and he's doing interviews, and he's also speaking at churches and helping young kids.
If the kids were going to leave here today with a phrase of affirmation, because as a mother, I can say something to my 14-year-old, like I can say, oh, I love your outfit, Brianna. So when she leaves the house, she feels good. Then if her peers say, no, that shirt is tight.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, mommy just said it because I'm mom.
Yeah.
So maybe even some of my babies, I call them youth my babies. So even if I say something that sometimes doesn't have the same weight, but if you offer them a phrase of affirmation, they can leave you with what would you offer?
Well, here's actually a quote I came up with by myself in biology last year. They asked us to, and I always say life can be scary, but don't be scared. So people will always be mean to you, and people will always tell you that you aren't good enough. And as I've said in my speech, God already said that you are good enough. And I just think that's what you need to tell your children, is that God already said it. So stop listening to other people, because nobody is perfect, and that's what we have to understand. And I think your shirt looks awesome, and they have to believe that their shirt looks awesome as well.
Well, it looks like somebody wants to ask questions, and you may have a book in your purse or a piece of paper or something that you want to get for autograph.
She said she don't need it. She don't even say that.
Okay.
Staring at a stop sign, watching people drive by, T-Mac on the radio.